The New York Jets have found their next star players, and this is exactly why Jets fans should feel optimistic about the team right now, despite the fact that they only have 3 wins in December. And looking at these future stars of the team, there is a whole lot to be excited about right now when looking at some of the players and looking at the job that Darren Mougey has done with the team right now. We're going to dive into these guys, discuss exactly why they are actually future stars, all the signs that point to them being long-term answers for multiple different important positions for the Jets, and there are also positions of need, which is also a big thing here. But guys, before we jump into all that, if you are part of that 68% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single New York Jets update, because we got videos coming out every single day regarding the New York Jets, breaking down all the latest news, rumor reports, trade reports, draft information, and everything else in between. But let's jump into the video, guys. There is a lot to go over on the Jets right now because, look, Darren Mougey has done a phenomenal job at finding talent on the margins, picking up guys who have been underlooked or overlooked and underrated throughout their entire careers thus far, just for them to start to break out on the Jets and show that they actually are very talented players who do have long-term NFL futures and will be a huge part of this Jets team going forward. The Jets opened up this roster with an island of broken toys type team, and though they did make some trades like trading away Sauce Gardner to the Colts for multiple picks and then also trading away Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys, we saw holes in this roster, and of course we did. That was to be expected. They already had holes in it. However, those trades and everything else in between led to some breakout players, one of them being a part of a trade that the Jets got back. But the first guy that we are going to be talking about right here is Jawan Briggs. This guy is a future star defensive tackle, and I refuse to believe otherwise at this point. Briggs has absolutely broken out onto the scene and been one of the best players on the Jets over the last couple of weeks. A defensive tackle who was with the Cleveland Browns to start the year, Briggs was being very overlooked by them, and frankly, the Jets, they saw a chance to get him for virtually nothing. They acquired him in a deal to add more depth when there was some injuries to the team, specifically to Brian Cowart. And then, of course, they also traded for Harrison Phillips as well. Now, Briggs was not really getting any burn with the Jets. However, as time went on, and especially as Quinnen Williams got traded, Briggs started to become a mainstay in this Jets roster and really getting a lot of reps at the defensive tackle spot. Now, he's become a starter for this team. Look, Briggs has been nothing short of phenomenal. The top pass rushing defensive tackles since week 10, which is post the Quinnen Williams trade, we have seen it. Number one at pressures is Quinnen Williams with 21. Now, after that is second, it's a 4-way tie, and Jawan Briggs is one of them, with names that are very, very impressive, including Eric Armstead, who's been a mainstay at the position for a while, Mason Graham, who was a top 5 pick as a rookie to the Browns, and then Leonard Williams, who we all know well, who played a lot of great years with the Jets, and since then was excellent with the Seahawks as well. And then also when we look at pressure rates, Quinnen Williams is number one. Again, Quinnen Williams arguably is the best defensive tackle in the NFL. The man has a 22% pressure rate. And also second is Jawan Briggs. Briggs is that good. This isn't just a situation where we look at Jawan Briggs and think, all right, I wonder how he can perform, like what he's going to be able to do. Is he going to be able to just hold down the position for a little bit before we find a long-term answer? No, Jawan Briggs is that long-term answer. It's evidently clear that the man is a dangerous, dangerous defensive tackle who needs to be used more, and he already is being used a ton. I mean, look, as Briggs said about the whole opportunity that he's gotten, he said, it's a blessing and an opportunity. I've always looked at it like that. Just being able to get off the ball and attack, I just like being able to press the issue on the offensive line. And Steve Wilks talked about him as well, saying, we knew, particularly Coach Eric Washington, of his skill set. I think a matter of time, we're starting to see exactly what we envisioned. He can really create some one-on-ones and dominate, which you saw last week, getting a sack, collapsing the pocket, and getting that sack. He's playing great ball. I think him and Harrison Phillips both are really solid inside, which has given us the opportunity to perform well on the outside. And as Aaron Glenn also mentioned about Briggs, he said he's able to stop the run because he's been doing a good job of that. But what's been surprising, and I wouldn't say surprising, but what has what he's had the tick up in is his ability to rush the passer also. We want to be able to utilize that. I'm not saying that he's Mean Joe Green or anything like that, but listen, he's been doing a really good job of being disruptive in the pass game also. And that's what Briggs has done. He hasn't just been a very talented run stopper. He's gone out there and been aggressive against the pass, and now he's got a sack. He's got 3 sacks this season to his name, with 11 tackles, and he forced a fumble. Briggs has went out there and been a very important player for the Jets, getting sacks, attacking from the middle, stopping runs, getting tackles, and forcing a fumble. The man, he's a starter next year for the Jets. He absolutely should be. When we look at Briggs and Harrison Phillips, is it an ideal defensive tackle situation? Not really, but it's not bad at all. It's not something that we look at and we think this desperately needs an upgrade. There's other positions out there need upgrades more than this part of the Jets defense. They could use another edge rusher more than another defensive tackle right now. They could use another cornerback more than another defensive tackle. They could use 2 safeties more than another defensive tackle. This team has other holes to fill, and right now, I want to see Briggs start next year with the Jets, and I don't mind Phillips starting as well, as Phillips has been an excellent leader and has also played a very good season in his own right as well. Now, Briggs, he's also grading out excellently on Pro Football Focus recently. I mean, the man, he's doing great. His overall grade is a 74.4, which is 15th out of 125 defensive tackles. His pass rush grade is a 72.9, which is 22nd out of 125 defensive linemen. Sorry, defensive linemen, not just tackles, all defensive linemen. His run defense grade is 30th out of 125 defensive linemen. This guy isn't just grading up as serviceable, he's grading up as actively very good in that upper echelon of guys who's really shown a whole lot. I mean, 2 of these, whether it's the overall grade and the pass rush grade, he is in that top 5th percent. The man is doing excellent. He's in the top 20%. I mean, when you go and look at the overall grade, he's even better than that. The man has been excellent. Jawan Briggs is the Jets' best defensive tackle. He deserves to start next year, and I do expect the Jets ultimately will decide to start him because of the way that he's been able to play for this team. The thing is, he's not the only young player who we're seeing absolutely break out onto the scene. We're seeing this guy as well break out. Adonai Mitchell, A.D. Mitchell, who has been nothing short of phenomenal. He had a rough go to start his career, but now he's been absolutely excellent. The man has been balling out with the Jets. He's played 3 games for the Jets, and he is doing quite well. I mean, he's gotten 154 receiving yards in that span. He's just playing really, really good football. He's getting 51.3 receiving yards per game, has a touchdown to his name that he got in the last game he played, or the last game the Jets played against the Falcons. He's been very, very good. Adonai Mitchell has shown that when he gets the opportunity, he can absolutely succeed at the NFL level, which has been a big question about him. He was the only player on Sunday with 100-plus receiving yards. The man was awesome for the Jets, and that's exactly what you want to see out of these guys, especially when he's part of the Sauce Gardner trade. Look, as mentioned here by Joe Orco, Adonai Mitchell, since week 10, among wide receivers, is a 30% target share, with it, which is 6th out of all wide receivers. 25 total targets, which is 10th, and 56% air yards, which is 1st. He is A-plus rated down the stretch per Fantasy Pros. Wide receivers make their biggest jump in fantasy production in year 2, and for A.D. Mitchell, if you need a flex right now, that's who you go out and get if he's available for you. Look, right now, these are 2 guys who I want to see as mainstays with the Jets going forwards, and I definitely want to see if big roles with the team next year. What do you guys think? How do you feel about them? If I had to choose one, I truly think Jawan Briggs is an absolute stud. I think he's an actual star that the Jets have found more than anything. I love A.D. Mitchell as well, but I seriously think that the Jets are fine on defensive tackle because Jawan Briggs is one of the better ones in the NFL already, and he's only getting better. Guys, like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Jets.